What's going on, everybody? My plant and I here. It's my fern. I did a terrible potting job, don't look. Yeah, so I repotted all these plants out here and they look really good. They're all dying. It's been so hot. So first I want to talk about the contest that I was having for my little banner thing, and I got so many submissions. Thank you guys so much. I picked a winner. It was really hard. I had to get like a ton of people to come over and be like, oh, well, this one, you know, is relevant, or this one, yeah, it was hard. It was hard to pick one. Thank you so much for everybody that sent it in. You're so talented. I'm just gonna pick at this plant and like throw off this stuff. So I've been super busy with work. I'm pretty much working every day, at least a little bit, so that I can kind of build up my patient base and make a little bit of money. And it's been fun. Like, I love like having this clinic and seeing all these patients. It's a lot of work, but that's kind of why I've been holding back on vlogging this past week. It's just been really hectic, but catching up. So the topic of the video today is about, as you see in the title, my last date that I went on. I was gonna vlog about this sooner, but I didn't really know how it was working, and like I was still kind of talking to him, so that might be weird, right? Me like talking about a guy when I'm like still talking to him, and I mean, but anyway, so let's get to the story. It's been a little while since this happened. I guess it's been like a month. It was when I was working as a student at the Air Force Base, so it's been more than a month because I graduated a month ago. So yeah, I was working as a student on the Air Force Base and seeing patients with other doctors there. And it was like, it was a Friday or something like that, and it had been a really long week, and I was exhausted, and it was like midway through the day, and at this point, graduation was pretty close, and I was trying to like secure a job for after graduation, and I was just like stressed, and it had been a long week. I was ready for the weekend. My technician worked up my patient for me and put him in my exam lane and walked into the room, and you know, normally I'm pretty observant as far as my patient goes. I mean, there are things that you should look for in a patient, like, I mean, if somebody's walking around with something like this, obviously something is wrong with this eye. Like, you're supposed to be observant of those things. And you know, it's been a long day, and I just got straight to the point. You know, started going through the exam and finished the exam, and I didn't really notice, you know, who the patient was or anything like that. And all I know is I remember thinking, like, throughout the exam that he was just very quiet, like withdrawn. And I would say, like, ask him like questions, and I would get like 1 or 2 word responses and just be like, all right, you know, that's fine. So went through the entire exam. I mean, a long exam. And I remember I pulled a slit lamp away, which is that big machine that I use to look in the back part of your eye. And after the exam was over, and I pulled it away, and I was like, all right. And then I looked, and I like saw him, like, just like generally saw him for the first time. It was what it felt like. And he was gorgeous, like so handsome. And I was like, oh, and like I was surprised, and he like smiled, just like this huge smile, and it was just like, I was like stunned. I got butterflies, and I was like, I've been in here for like an hour, and like this guy is like, I like don't know what is going on with me right now, but and I was like, wow, like he is so handsome. And I was like, I think I started to like stutter a little bit. I never do that. I'm comfortable talking to everybody, I feel like, and he was still very quiet. You know, that's just the kind of person that I guess he was. And I feel like I got flushed, and I was like, oh, you know, well, thank you so much for coming in, and you're good to go. I'll see you around. And he was like, all right, thanks, and like walked out or whatever. And like I went and sat down, and I was like, what did I just do? What just happened? Like, I was just in an exam with this very, very attractive guy for so long, and I didn't even like notice anything. So I, you know, I just finished my day or whatever. I didn't think anything else of it really. I mean, what can you do, I guess. So I got over to my friend's house later that night, and we were gonna watch a movie or something like that, and he was like gonna show me this picture of this guy on his phone. He was like, oh my god, check this guy out. And it was like a group of like 5 guys or something like that, and he was pointing to this guy over here, and I was like, oh, he's attractive. And then I looked at all the guys in the picture, obviously, and that guy from my exam was in that picture, and I was like, do you know who this is? Like, do you know who this guy is? Obviously, I mean, I knew who he is. I can't like say that. It's like, so your identity is protected by law if you see me as a patient. So I can't like message you or flirt with you or something like that outside of clinic. It's protected. There are a lot of doctor-patient protection laws. So I wasn't gonna do anything. I wasn't gonna say anything to him. And then I saw him on there, and it was like his Instagram, like he was like tagged in the picture, and I was like, oh my god, I could just like go follow him right now. But then I was like, is that ethical? Should I do that? So then like I thought about it, and I was like, well, you know, I am not his doctor, and I was just a student working there, and I didn't sign off on anything. It's not technically my patient because I was still a student. And then I thought, well, you know, he's not actually even coming in. He's done with his eye exams. Like, I'm not his doctor anymore, at least. So I was like, you know, screw it. I'll follow him on Instagram. I don't even know if he's gay. Like, I was just gonna do it and see what happened. So yeah, I followed him on Instagram, and like a couple minutes later, he followed me back, and then liked a couple of my pictures. And like, obviously, I'm like freaking out, like jumping around like a little girl. And then like I really started to like think back, and I was like, what was he like? Like, what was he like during the exam? All I can remember is he's quiet. Like, that's all I can think of. He had like quiet humor, you know, like it was like I would sit there and talk and say like 1,000 things, and then he would respond with like, oh yeah, me too. And it was just like super quiet, and I would be like, okay. It was just really funny to me. I don't know. I really liked that. After he liked a couple of my pictures on Instagram, I messaged him on like direct message on Instagram and was like, hey, you know, and he was like, good to see you again. And I was like, what do I say? Like, what do I say to him? I don't even like, obviously, I mean, he's responding, he's like my picture, so maybe he's gay. I don't know. I have straight friends that do that too. And I wanted to say something, and I was so stupid, and I'm like nervous about this, and I was like, I hope you're not dilated still. What a stupid thing to say. So yeah, he was like, nope, all good, I'm set. He was like, we should hang out sometime. And I was like, all right, yeah, when? And like, he was like, a couple days from now or something like that. And I was like, dang, I have to wait days to hang out with this guy, whatever. Went through the weekend, hung out, whatever, and then I met up with them at this like sandwich shop a couple days later. And he was like sitting outside waiting for me to go in, and like I was just like shocked at how like genuinely kind he was. And he like opened the door and like held it open, and then he was like, the kind of guy like opens the car door for you, like genuinely like wants you to like realize how like much he cares. And like it was so sweet. I was just like, I'm like, like I don't know what to do. So yeah, it's unnecessary. I'm gonna have to open the car door for me. I open my own damn car door, but just the fact that he was like trying, and like it was so sweet. So we like talked, and I like kind of got to know him a little bit, and he's into all of the video games that I play. I mean, he's way better than I am, but like he's super into video games, and he likes to work out and stuff like that, and so do I. And I have a thing for tall guys. I have always thought that really tall guys are super sexy, and he was probably 6'3", and that is so attractive to me. And like brown hair, really pretty brown eyes, kind of goofy. I don't know, I love Goofy. I think Goofy's adorable. So we went and we drove around a little bit, and we talked, and I got to know him a little bit better, and just a genuinely nice guy. Everything that he said, everything that came out of his mouth was positive. Even probably about things that are negative, he spun them in a positive way, which I loved. When you're around somebody that is always up and positive, you start to feel positive and up too, and like nothing could go wrong. And I loved that. Drove around, and then he was gonna drive me off in my car, and like went in for like a hug to say goodbye and stuff like that, and like gave me like a little kiss or whatever, and like butterflies again. I don't know. I just don't get butterflies that often, I guess, and it was a very good feeling. We actually hung out a couple more times before I moved away from Little Rock. We'd go get lunch. He'd be in his like military uniform, super sexy. I still talk to him all the time now, but I live across the country, so that kind of sucks. An awesome connection for me to make. I feel like I'm a better person because I met him. Don't know if I see us doing anything later, or who knows. It just depends, I guess, on where life takes us, but it's always exciting to know that there are people out there like that, and that I always have something like that to talk to. Got a lot of questions about like the last date I went on. My mom keeps pressuring me to give her grandchildren, so this one's for you, Mom. I don't know. I like going on dates. I think going on dates is fun. Don't you? I mean, like, even if they're bad dates. No, bad dates are not fun. Not fun. I can't say that I've really been on any bad dates, though. No. I mean, there have been dates where it's just kind of like, I'm kind of ready to go home. It's just, we're not like clicking or something like that, but there's never been a date where it's like, oh my God, like, he's making a scene or something like that. So I'll probably be making some more videos this week. I'm starting to kind of like have some time where like I know I'm not going to be working, so that's like today, and I know that I can make a video today. So I am actually recording on my balcony right now. I have a new chair that I just put out here, and I found it in the trash. Oh, and I found that in the trash too, this little like stand that this is on. Trash digging. I want more plants, but I can't. I mean, they're all alive. They're just kind of skimpy. I don't know if I can even show you guys. I mean, they're alive. They're just, they want to be in the ground. I want to live in a house that I can put them in the ground. So this past week it was Pride. I got to celebrate being proud, and there were so many people that came out. Like, I was worried people would be like scared to come out because of the Orlando shooting, and I think that empowered us to come out in greater numbers. And it was a beautiful weekend, and thank you to everybody that helps put on a Pride. Like, you make it amazing. New video soon. Be sure you subscribe if you don't already. All of my social media is down below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you soon.
Shit, we're gonna have to redo that because I have to think about this for a second.
Yeah, I know. Is it recording?
Yeah.
Oh my God, you already
Just
started
clicked
it.
it.
How long do you have? How long?
Like a long time.
Like-
But it actually shuts. It's weird. It shuts off